Hey everybody, it's Gladys back here once again for another episode of Battle Chat, and here to sort of continue our last Battle Chat that we had. We got interrupted, and I lost some information on it, but we're here to pick up where we left off. And here joining me once again is Cryptic Panther,
Hey everybody.
and I know we talked about a lot of stuff, and we had a lot more footage recorded, but we didn't get to a lot of the subjects that we had last time. So go ahead and throw something at me here that you want to try to get to tonight.
Yeah, well, we touched a little bit on this last time, but like I said, you didn't get it uploaded. But playing with random players, like what pisses you off the most, or what surprises you the most as well?
Well, it's actually if you phrase it in that way, then it's the same thing, and that's either the lack of teamwork or the surprise teamwork. To where it's like you play a game, and everybody has, and it's actually most games that I see where blue dots are just notorious for being the worst players. Like, what are these people doing? They've got to be sitting at home upside down and like eating ice cream like and trying to play the game. I just don't understand what they're doing. you know, like I see people running around like drawing on walls with repair torches and everything, and I'll always make sure to throw a grenade at them or something just to tell them they're being stupid. But it's lack of playing the objective and not supporting the team by throwing out ammo or health, etc., or driving vehicles off into the desert and through the red line, and all these stupid things that just people are so they just don't think.
Tough.
So that's the bad part of it, and then it's those rare gems, where you get the blue dots that'll drop health or ammo on you because you've got the little icon, or if you hit select on them and call them out, that they'll actually do it. Like those are just fantastic moments that make me smile.
Yeah, like we go back with the piss off. We don't have a lot of room to talk sometimes. We've myself, you, and a few of the other clanmates and friends. We've done some trolling in our days. But yeah, like I mean, it's that. Well, I guess our troll squad turned into a whole troll game, really. But yeah, I mean, like that's just kind of the same thing with me. Is you get guys that will get in a jeep and they'll drive, right off the map, bail out, try to team kill you that way, or they'll ghost ride you, or yeah, they'll stand there and look at you funny, like when you're asking for ammo. That's kind of the fellas that just like, what are you doing? I know you paid for this game to play, your way, but man, we don't need four guys sitting in the spawn with sniper rifles trying to snipe helicopters.
or the map squad, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Or you get into a tank, you drive it to the spawn, the guy's, some random guy's in your tank in the 50 cal shooting at, everything.
Yeah, everything. Running
That's
that gun right up to where it overheats and then just waiting for it, and same thing.
yeah, those are the ones. Yeah, it's like beating the dead horse. Stop shooting the 50 cal. You're not killing anything with it from 5,000 miles away.
Yep.
Yeah,
Try to snipe with it.
yeah. The things like shooting, you might as well be throwing marshmallows, man. The thing's so underpowered though. The 50 cal in the tank is ridiculous.
Oh yeah, you remember in Bad Company 2 how awesome the secondary weapons were? Like they were actually weapons, like they were meant to kill, and that's what they did. And these ones here are like tickle me
Yeah.
Elmo bullets. It's just
Yeah,
ridiculous.
yeah, they nerfed the 50 cal. I didn't play Bad Company 2, so I can't really comment that way. But I've seen some gameplay videos, some of the other the YouTubers that have put up some videos of it, and I mean, hey, the game looked pretty cool for its day, and I know a lot of people still rave about it today. But yeah, I know the 50 cal on the tank wasn't bad, but they seem they've nerfed it a little bit, and I think it was a little too much. Like, you got to take 6 bullets to the face to kill somebody with it. It's a little
Yeah,
excessive. Especially when the guy's
yeah.
running at you with a C4 and you know you're going to die.
Yeah, it's always panic mode, and
Yeah.
it's like it almost like slows down to where it's like movie action mode, to where it's like, oh god, and you're just pumping bullets and trying to get him, and it never works for me.
And it's always, get out of the tank! You always scream to get out. And then just like the guy jumps in and steals your tank and you're like, oh my fuck.
It's the worst feeling.
Yeah, I'm a
It's just
noob.
like the world dropping its pants right over you and
Why did I
just
do
taking
that?
a sweet one.
And then it's always best when you're playing with your friends and they rag on you for it, for the whole fucking map after that because it happens to me. Oh, thanks for giving up the tank, Panther. Look at that. Look, the enemy now has our tank. I
Yeah.
get ribbed a lot when that happens. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
I wish we had a tank. Jeez.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, Yeah. Thanks a lot. I'll remember next time you fuck up and do that. But yeah.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
It's one thing I've tried to do is adapt my playstyle to where it's like, in those situations, it's more frustrating to drop out of the tank and then have it stolen and maybe get killed by it, or if they repair it, whatever. It can easily turn south for your team when that happens. So I've just decided, to bite the bullet, as it were, and just die with the tank. Just stay in the ship and go down.
Well, I have a little story on abandoning the tank. I was playing one of the new aftermath maps, sorry, and I was playing with some randoms, so I didn't really have any teammates, that I was communicating with very well. So I was in a tank on one of the flags, and a fella come up and RPG'd me, and he was doing the jump around. The tank gun takes an hour to reload, and I was getting splash damage, and so he put C4 on the tank. So I was like, screw this. I jumped out to shoot him. As I jumped out, he magically jumped in the tank, like instantly. So I'm like, how the hell did that happen? Like, I wasn't even out of the tank for 2 seconds, and he started to try to run over me with it. So I ran around the corner of the building, and he fired at me and missed. So I jumped back out, and I threw a grenade at the tank, and didn't I ignite a C4 and blow him off?
Yes.
I destroyed the tank with my grenade because he had C4'd it, and the C4 was still in the tank. I had to stop playing for like 2 or 3 minutes. I was laughing that hard. That poor bastard. He thought he was doing hell no, stealing my tank, and I grenaded it. It was instinctively too. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say, oh yeah, I planned to throw the grenade. It was,
Yeah.
it was a panicked moment. I threw the grenade, and I'm like, that's not going to do anything. Boom,
Yeah.
tank goes up, and I'm like, I just killed that guy. That was awesome. Oh,
Glorious.
those are the ones you need the battle recorder for. Remember our last talk there? We talked about
Yeah.
battle recorder. That would have been a moment for a battle recorder for sure.
Yeah, that'd have been. I still think that's a feature that should have been pushed in more games.
It should.
Absolutely.
I mean, not just Battlefield. I like to see it in some other games. I'm playing Far Cry 3. Not to go off on another game on a tangent, but there's been some weird shit happen that, man, I'm thinking, if I could only record this, and I mean, I don't know if I would invest in, what you guys have for recording, but man, I'm thinking, geez, it'd be nice to be able to do it for some stuff.
Yeah.
It's so much fun. So.
Well, and it's hard to tell too. I mean, there's a lot of random moments. I mean, just gaming in general, no matter what you're playing, there's moments where it's just like, oh, that was so awesome. Like I either want to repeat that or show it to people and brag about it to my friends, whatever. So it's like there's so many of those little moments, and that's what we all enjoy with gaming, and we just don't have the ability to capture all those.
Yeah, exactly. That's kind of the sad point, I think.
Yeah.
So yeah, hopefully some other developers will see like the advantage of a battle recorder for sure.
Yep.
So one of the next question was, does playing with better players make you a better player?
I want to say that it'll definitely help you improve as a player, like especially in a game oriented about teamwork. It's all about teamwork based playing, and with a better team, you're gonna see tactics that are advantageous to playing that way, and that are built around helping the team or having a successful game. And with better players around you, you're going to get into their habits, or you're going to get used to playing the objectives, because that's what they're going to be doing as well, hopefully. So I think you're going to learn only good things by that, in which case then, yeah, that would improve you as a player. So I would say in just about any situation, the answer to that would be yes. That would make you a better player.
I mean, I agree with you too. Playing with better players will eventually make you a better player. But one of the things that frustrated me, and I mean, anyone that plays with me on a regular basis know that I get, I shouldn't say I get mad. I get frustrated, and I'm vocal. And my wife just laughed at me. That's funny. She just heard what I said. She laughed. But yeah, I get frustrated. We'll say,
Yeah.
to be a little politically correct. Or I get fucking angry, I guess you could say. And people, oh, it's only a game. I know, but it's like whenever I'm playing with, yourself and some of the other guys, some of the ZTAC guys, like, it's like, fuck, I see they're scoring. It's like, how come I'm not doing that good? How come I'm not, top of the leaderboard? How come I'm not going 20-4? And how come I'm going 8-14? And so, and it's, you try to watch and play like that. And I've gotten better. I mean, like when I first played, man, I was I'm basically a noob. I hadn't played an FPS in a while, and I was having a struggle with it. But I've gotten better. I mean, I got a lot of hours into the game. But yeah, playing with better players, I think, does. But the only thing is, it can be frustrating when you look at the leaderboard and go, "Why am I the guy in seventh place?" you know, why is the guy that's a level, especially playing with a buddy of mine, JR. I mean, the dude's an amazing player. He's amazing helicopter pilot, jet pilot, etc. Along with some of the other guys we play with on a regular basis. And he's a young fella, and it's like, man, he's got half the time in the game that I have. He's been a Colonel 100 for forever. It's like playing with him sometimes is frustrating whenever you see how well he does and how
Yeah.
effortless it seems. But yeah, playing with better players on your team definitely makes you a better player.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's a whole nother ballgame if they're on the opposite team. If
Yeah,
if you're getting stomped by better players, there's just nothing more disheartening than that. Like
yeah,
when nothing you can do helps you.
yeah, and
It's
then nothing,
terrible.
nothing that the rest of your team can do seems to work either. Yeah, those are the frustrating times. So
Yeah.
the better player thing also, um, we kind of talked about, I guess, before we started, but about certain weapons and players. We we're not going to get into great detail about guns, I guess, but players that constantly use one weapon. In other words, the dreaded noob weapon or the try hard, the M16A3, the AEK. You know, I don't know if there's anything else there that's classed like that. Those two are probably the most. Well, the M4A1, I guess, is kind of ranked up there
Yeah.
now.
For the
But
MG class, yeah.
yeah, I mean, like the M16A3, the AEK, they're always a try hard. Like, reference a match me and a couple of my buddies had a little while ago. We were playing, and we were kind of raffle stomping this team a bit, and all of a sudden these other players joined them. They were a clan, and the four of them ran together really well. I mean, these guys were good players. I'm not knocking their skill, but they were all running like AEKs and M16s. And it's like, you get killed by them. You see like 26 service stairs with M16, and it's like there's playing to win, and there's like, constantly playing to I don't know, to demolish a team, to say, look, I got the most kills with an M16. I don't know how that's, a popular thing, that's for sure.
Yep.
Um, but the tryhards. What's your opinion on tryhards?
Um. Well, I'm still not exactly sure what the definition of tryhard is. So
Well,
give me a quick rundown on that, and I'll answer.
I guess everyone would have a different opinion on what a tryhard is, but like, I don't know. You go up against a team and everyone's running this, the AK or the M16, and you look at them and that's all they're level 100s and that's all they seem to run is the one gun. They have like 40 service stars with that one gun, and they seem to only play with that gun. And I know they're not necessarily an advantage using the M16 versus the AEK over some other assault weapons, but they're kind of classed as the noobier. Not say noob, I guess. I don't want to class them as a noob weapon. Um, I guess
Well,
it's I guess maybe it's a term more used. I guess between me and some of my buddies, I guess on a regular basis, like we're up against a whole team of tryhards because they're all running M16s AEK. You know,
okay. Well, as far as it translates to me, the definition at least, I would say I almost feel bad for those type of people because there's so much more that the game has to offer than just working with one weapon, no matter what it is, or even 5 weapons, 10 weapons. There's so many options that we have, so many different setups and loadouts you could use, and so many great guns out there that we have access to. That I just feel like, why would you limit yourself to only one or a handful of things like that? Get out there and use everything that you can in the game. Get the most out of the game as you can. Because if you're just running with the M16A3 on every map, or if you're only playing one map, or like these servers that you see where it's like Danya Fortress 24/7, like I'll shit on those servers. Like, why would you only play one map?
exactly.
There's so much to do. So I guess it would just, yeah, like I almost pity those type of players, because you're looking out through a window and you're ignoring the rest of the house.
Yeah, well, there's great. That's a great analogy. That's for sure.
That's totally off the top of my head, not.
Yeah, you had that wrote down. You've been waiting for a
Yeah.
week. You've been waiting for like a month to use that. It's like
I've been waiting for like 4 years to use that
4
line.
years.
Okay.
Wow, I was giving you a little bit more credit than that. It's like like, oh, geez,
Lesson learned.
for the last month, I've got to use this line. Someone's gonna leave me an opening for that. Oh shit, that was good.
Yeah, I applied myself on that. That was pretty
But I mean, like like I said, I guess not everybody will say the M16 or the AEK. Well, those are the two most common, or the MTAR. Like I mean, the MTAR's pretty in close quarters, and MTAR's pretty nasty to deal with at close quarter maps,
good. Yeah.
and even the ACWR. Those are pretty fast fired carbines. But yeah, like I guess we go, oh look at these guys. The whole team's running AEKs or tryhard pants on. Because I guess maybe it's more me and some of my fellow clanmates and buddies say I guess quite often. But it's just a term that a lot of other people use as well. So I just wonder what your opinion was.
Yeah, I just wasn't too familiar with the terminology.
Do you class those particular weapons as not really noobish, but maybe a little more OP or than the others in their class?
I feel like there's a lot of different characteristics and feels that weapons have, and the ones that we kind of classify as noobier weapons, or as you say, try hard loadouts, like those weapons are made in the game to be the weapons that you start out with when you're playing. Like those are far and away the best guns that you can use when you first boot up this game and you're level 1. I mean, they're extremely well balanced. They're not crazy on recoil. They've got good fire rates, and they're accurate. So all things considered, they're fantastic weapons, and that's why a lot of people use them when they first start, and then they get attached to them, and they get into a rut and they just don't change. So I don't really consider them noob weapons, but I consider them noob friendly, if that makes any sense. So, like, to me, there's a distinction there.
Well, like I'll be honest. I mean, there's times when you're up against a really good team, and like I said, try hard Panther on. If I'm playing with some buddies, it's usually all right. Like if they're gonna rock EKs and M16s, let's turn around and use them again, right? So there's times that I'll pull them out, chuck the try hard pants on and whip out the EK or the M16 and try our best to dominate the other team. I mean, I don't play a game to lose, that's for sure. But I mean, if I'm using, if I'm running the engineer class on Metro just to get some kills with the Scar H, and it's got 21 rounds, it fires slow, and I'm getting murdered by AKs every time I turn around a corner, I'm not going to play with a Scar H very long.
Yeah. Well, and that's understandable, though. I mean, you got to adjust tactics.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So what, like with the M16 and stuff, you use that very often, AEK, or you run more?
Well, I don't, to answer that really. I use the AEK, I guess, nowadays more frequently. And funny story, and we touched on this before earlier. Funny story with the M16A3 is I really relied heavily on that, to get through the learning curve of the game and to get through the noob stages and finally be a Battlefield 3 player and get skilled in other areas. So I've relied heavily on that, and that's still my number one weapon, statistics-wise. I think I've got like 34 stars with it. So,
wow.
Yeah, I leaned on it very heavily when I first started. But I haven't used the weapon in about 7 or 8 months, I want to say. That's pretty accurate dating. Maybe 7 or 8 months I haven't used it, but I picked it up, and this is what's so funny to me about it, is that we're now talking about it, and we were talking about it a little bit earlier. It's so funny because I haven't used it in forever, and everybody always complains about it. So I said, you know what? I miss that gun. It's reliable. It's got a good fire rate. It's good damage. I'm gonna pick it back up and I'm gonna try it again. I know they tweaked it a little while ago in one of the patches, but I said okay. And this was 2 days ago. 2 days. I get on, and I was playing Rush on one of the Armored Kill maps, and I killed this guy twice in a row with the M16A3, and I think I've just got like a reflex sight and a foregrip on it, and nothing else. Like it's almost naked. And I kill him twice. I get killed, and I spawn in on the gunship, and I kill that same guy again from the gunship. So it's like. To me, I'm not thinking anything of it. I'm just like, M16 kill, gunship kill, whatever. I'm just playing, right? I'm not thinking anything of it. Well, this guy gets so butthurt, and he sends me a message. He says, M16A3 noob, and it was two separate messages because he only sent it by the subject, like an idiot. He didn't just type it in the body of it.
Right.
So the first one I got was M16A3 noob, and I laughed. And then the second one I got was the gunship is for cunts.
That's awesome.
So I'm laughing even more at this, and I sent him a message back, and I said, "Thanks, bro. Want to be friends?" And he sent something back like, "Shut up, pussy," or something like that. Whatever. So I laughed at it and shrugged it off, ignored it. We play like two more games, and my team is just getting raffle stomped, and we're getting destroyed no matter what we do. And so I got out of the server, and I said, well, after a losing streak, I'm feeling pretty bad. So I popped in Need for Speed, and I was playing that. And I get a message from the guy. I guess he noticed he was he was actually caring so much to look and notice that I had left the server. So he sends me another message, and he goes, "Where did you go, pussy?" And I sent him one back, and I said, "Oh, just driving around in Need for Speed. What are you up to, friend?" And he sends me one back, and he goes, "On the way to your house." So I'm laughing at this. I'm telling the whole thing to my wife, and she's like, "What an idiot!" And I sent him one back, and I said, "Yay, sleepover time!" And I finally, cracked this guy's shell, and he sent me one back just saying "laugh out loud." But I was like, like you really just got to go after somebody like that just because they killed you with one weapon twice and then a gunship. Like, what is wrong with these people?
That's funny. That
But
is
yeah, I
that
mean,
is funny.
my first
I
time in 8 months, and I get called out for being a noob on it. It's
Well, you shouldn't have
ridiculous.
called you noob. You got that many service stars with a gun.
But I haven't used it in so
Yeah.
long,
Yeah.
Like, it's been dormant at the top of my list.
Sitting there collecting dust. You gotta knock the dust off
Yeah.
every once in a while.
Well, after that, I don't know if, I mean, people are going to come to my house, and yeah.
Take your M16 from you.
Yeah, I mean, nobody's going to take my M16. No.
Oh shit,
Ridiculous.
that's funny. That is awesome. I haven't really got a lot of hate mail recently. I got a few. I was called a hacker a few times. Um, I still remember the time the fella called me a hacker, and because I the old Wake Island glitch where you could drive the tank across the water
Yeah.
between what was it, C and B flag or whatever. There you could drive, or D and A and C, whatever it was, across the map before they patched it. So I heard about this on Reddit. I'm like, okay, I gotta try this. It's probably a troll. I'm probably gonna die, look like an idiot, but I gotta try this. So there was a buddy of mine in the tank with me. I can't remember who it was, and they're like, "Where you going?" I was like, "Watch this. This is gonna work." And I drove right out the water, and he's like, "You're gonna kill us." And it's like, "No." He drove out in the water. And I'm like, "That's awesome." So I don't know if it was the first match or the second match I ever tried it on. But anyways, I drove through the water and I drove right over and I killed this guy. Not even 10 seconds after I killed him, I get this hacker, you're getting reported. I'm like, what the hell? Because I killed you with a tank? And I'm like, oh, because it's probably because I drove through the water.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm so elite, I recoded the PlayStation to allow me to drive through water. Oh, shit. Yeah, I've gotten a few. I'll be honest. I've sent some, not really hate mail, but you know, someone in a game, and they being a bit of a douche, we'll say, and I've sent my what are you doing messages like, are you sniffing glue by any chance, or yeah, are you on or off medication? Um, I've actually had to Google translate some stuff because I had a fellow do some Italian back to me one day. I was on the sniper only map trying to get some sniper kills, and this guy comes running in with a machine gun, and like I'm not an admin on this server, it's just some random server. So I message him, right? I'm like, hey, it's snipers only guy. Like, come on, it's hardcore. So he's team killed and everything else, and he's running around with like a machine gun, like a LMG or something, and we're like, everyone's using sniper rifles, but you're just being you're gonna play by the rules. Come on. So, anyways, he sent me a message in broken English, and I messaged him back, and all of a sudden I get this long, strung out thing. I'm like, what language is this? I had to Google translate it. Yeah, he was calling me some pretty nasty stuff in Italian.
Sweet.
I'm thinking, hey, I could swear at multicultural, man.
Yeah. Print that up and hang it on the wall, man.
I should have taken a picture of it and got it framed or something.
It's pretty sweet.
What
I
kind
haven't
of
had any. I haven't had any accusations in a long time.
No, they're not trying hard enough.
I'm gonna have to dust off the old M16A3.
Yeah, dust that off. Let's run it around M16. Everybody,
Yeah, give it about
M16.
3 hours before I get the hate.
Yeah. Just start a timer, and we'll see how long it takes you to get hate mail. Oh, look at that! 2 minutes in, killed the guy 3 times. Now he's coming to my house to stab me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
great.
I instantly regret life decisions.
Yeah, I pissed off. A 12-year-old. Yeah, he's gonna get his mom to drive. He's gonna get his mom to drive over to my house. We can kick my ass, or sleep with my mother. I'm not sure which one he's gonna do first.
Well,
Yeah,
based on his message, he's gonna try both.
yeah. He's gonna stab me. He's gonna kick my ass, then sleep with my mother. Yeah. Oh shit,
Crazy.
that's funny. That's still the best. That's
Yeah.
the COD Halo days.
Oh Lord. Yeah, I wish I could say that they're behind us, but unfortunately.
No, like I said, there's times you just gotta troll back. There's sometimes you just gotta act to fool yourself. I guess you can't always act the mature adult. That's for sure. Because I sure as hell don't.
Well, especially not on Fridays.
No, fuck around Fridays, man. No way. Not an
Yeah.
adult at all.
Just like fuck around Fridays are so fun for me because it's like it's all those times that you would always want to do, to where you just like the game is structured to play seriously or whatever, and like we've got to make our own shenanigans, and man, that's what FAF is all all about. So
Oh,
it's
definitely.
awesome.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that's one thing. I mean, if there's been 20 or 21 roughly, and I mean, a lot of the Redditors show up. We've had some randoms show up, and the randoms, get them once they figure out the ruling and they get a headset on and communicate. They've actually played and stayed. I mean, that's kind of the point of it. Let's get some regulars and have some fun. Yeah, FAF. I tell you, it can be frustrating. Um, Especially when you're drunk as shit and you can't play anymore.
Yeah.
Playing good old Rockin' Man after half a dozen beer and some shooters, it's a little tough.
Yeah, I think
So-
it was I want to say like 4 or 5 weeks ago, like one of the middle or lower teens on the FAFs. I got just totally sloppy, and we're playing, and I'm singing like the whole time, and I don't remember what I was singing, but somebody goes, "Damn, he does a good voice for this guy." Like I don't know, something like that or whatever. I don't remember what I was singing, but
Yeah,
it
you
was
haven't
wonderful.
sang in a while. The last couple times you haven't been right on the sauce. So,
I know.
well, you
well,
missed a couple there during the holidays, but
yeah.
making your veiny penis cakes.
Well, I mean, they're in high demand, especially around the holidays. You wouldn't believe it.
I hear that.
Peop-
Here doing work ordered half a dozen of the veiny penis cakes.
Yeah, he did. I mean, it was a good Christmas for doing work with those penis cakes for sure.
Yeah, he loves his penis cakes.
He does.
So I'll tell you, if you gotta love something, I guess you're good for him.
Yeah, I mean, why not? Really? Like, who's to say that doing work can't have veiny penis cakes?
Exactly. And
Not me.
he always asks for extra veiny.
Yeah, yeah, and that custard filling as well.
Oh, that's awesome.
God, yeah, I know who's gonna be coming to my place now. As soon as this battle chat is uploaded,
Yeah, he's gonna come over and kick your ass. I don't know.
and then sleep with my mother.
He might. I don't know. just for extra dirt. Yeah, he's gonna sleep with your mom too. Oh shit,
God.
that's funny. So I know we touched on it before, I'll just cut it up a little bit here. We'll talk about the Medal of Honor. We talked about COD and Halo 4, but we'll not talk about those because who cares about them. But what's with Medal of Honor? I mean, I noticed like when it came out, like you put up some videos and you were playing it, and I noticed that you don't seem to be playing it very often. I know you were busy over the holidays, so you got away from it. But is that something you're going to go back to playing, or
Well,
has
I do want to get back to it for a lot of reasons. I did enjoy the game. I felt like it was supremely underrated, critically and by just the everyday gamer. Like, it just didn't have a good reception. I think it did much better as a FPS than the 2010 release of Medal of Honor. It was a much better game than that, so they improved a lot. But it just felt like they reached, or they rather didn't reach far enough. You know, like they didn't try to change the formula. They didn't try to add anything new to a modern FPS like military shooter. You know, they didn't really try for anything new. You know, the whole thing that they were pushing was the buddy system, and you know, when it works, it's great, but it doesn't always work. So to rely on that as your selling point for your game, I think was a mistake. And there's still problems with it. You know, like there was a lot of problems, the same ones we were having with Battlefield 3 on release. You know, to where sounds cutting out, as far as setting up squads and staying with people and everything like that. It just doesn't work. Um, so there's still problems that we're having, and that's driven away a lot of the customer base as well. So I think that as a game, you know, looking now in retrospect, I think it just was a wasted opportunity. You know, it was hyped up very well, and I got excited for it, and I know a lot of people were curious, but it just had a bad reception, and you know, it was the developers' fault. You know, so I want to go back to it because I still enjoy it, and I think that you know it deserves to have some time, but I've been too busy, and now this past week and a half, 2 weeks, I've finally been getting back into gaming, and I've been putting a lot of time into Battlefield 3 to try to catch up with the community and how the game's playing now, and all that stuff, and trying to upload regularly. So I've been putting all my focus back into Battlefield 3, but I do plan on going back and checking it out here sometime soon.
Yeah, like I said, I noticed you don't see many people talking about it, and I mean, I wasn't a part of the. And if there was any community on Reddit for it, I wasn't really part of it because I wasn't interested in buying the game. Um, for the Battlefield 4 beta, it was kind of like, damn, I'm not going to buy a $60 game for a beta that you don't know how. You know, if they said, oh, you're going to get the beta for 3 weeks, and you know, you ought to get a chance at this and that, maybe, but you don't know how long the beta is going to be for. It could only be for 2 weeks. It could be a week. You know, we don't know how long, you know, they didn't give any information on how long the beta was going to be, you know, available for Medal of Honor pre-orders only. So, I mean, I'll take my chances and hopefully, you know, that they'll do something for premium or they'll do something just for the Battlefield community and say, okay, we'll give it to Medal of Honor guys 2 weeks early. I mean, it's kind of shitty for you guys that you paid for the game and to get the pre-order and get the beta, but you only get it a couple weeks early. That's a little shitty, but yeah, that was kind of the downfall. Was like that was they were banking on getting Battlefield players to purchase it for the beta. That seemed like a bad selling point, in my opinion.
Yeah,
Um,
I mean, just the merchandising for Battlefield, or I mean, Medal of Honor Warfighter is just kind of all over the place, I would say. And like I said, their main selling points being the Battlefield 4 beta, which had zero details
right.
other than there will be a Battlefield 4. We don't even know what console it's going to be on, whether it's current or next gen. We literally know nothing about it at this point. And then, you know, the buddy system, as I said, you know, when it works, it's great, but it doesn't always work, and we're having squad up issues to where you're not keeping your same group, so there's a lot of problems with it. So their main two selling points, you know, one of them is a shot in the dark, and the other one we know for a fact is sketchy.
Well, see, that's the thing. I mean, like if they took Medal of Honor now and they were to put it out with after what they've learned, and I know it wasn't. I know they used the same engine, but it wasn't the same developer. But you figure they would get some help from the Dice guys, considering they are still under the EA umbrella. That they say, oh well, if you're using Frostbite, this is the code that fucked the audio in Battlefield. Don't put that code in Medal of Honor.
Well,
Because
you know, and I had this conversation with Seawolf as well, because you know him and I both played Medal of Honor. We put a lot of time into it, or not a lot of time, but we put a good amount of time into it and gave it a fair chance. And we were talking about the same thing, and you know, the thing that I have that I'm picturing in my head is like, okay, EA is behind the game, but Dice developed Battlefield, and then Danger Close is developing Medal of Honor. And I feel like when Dice was told that Danger Close is going to be using their same engine, Frostbite 2 engine, like their baby that they've built up, when they told Dice that, I'm just imagining like them flipping desks over and lighting papers on fire and trash cans and throwing them through windows, like just like this mass upheaval of the office building of Dice, you know, like fuck these guys, you know, this is our engine, and just throwing it at them, and all the hard lessons we've learned over the past year with Battlefield, Danger Close got none of that information.
Well, that's what it
you know,
seems like. I mean, that's
yeah,
I mean, when you talk about audio glitching out and stuff like that, well, I mean, we dealt with that for ages with Battlefield, and I
yeah,
mean, it seemed to be it didn't develop at first, so it was something they patched, fucked the audio, and then it got worse.
yeah.
Play half a game and only hear four game sounds, and half the time it's because you were fucking killed.
Yeah, and then it's the audio glitches, and then the mics, the VoIP, that won't work, and then the grouping system, how you get split up from people that you go into a game with, like your squads,
Yeah.
you get split up. It's the exact same problems we were having with Battlefield 3, and I think it's the engine. I think there's some type of problem inherent in the engine for those specific things, and finally, after a year, Dice figured out what the hell to do to fix them, but that information wasn't related to Danger Close.
No, they didn't get that email.
They
they
didn't
got
get the memo on that one.
they, they mistyped the email address when they were sending it. It was dangerupclose.com or some shit. They sent it
Yeah,
there.
it
So
was to the Meal of Honor development team.
yeah, some guy in Yugoslavia got the fucking email. What the hell is this? Delete, spam, delete.
Spam.
Yeah, that happened there. Some Yugoslavian guy got that email. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's where they sent it. Yeah, the guys at Dice are like, we sent the email. Oh shit!
I swear we did.
That's the thing. I mean, like with you were saying that next gen console. Well, you read the article on Reddit the other day that there's talk of Microsoft and Sony doing their own Apple style release, and they're talking about the next gen consoles before the next big developer thing. So we could be getting PS4 for Christmas, right?
I don't know. I mean, realistically, I really don't know.
And I mean,
Like,
what scares me is if they're going to push next gen, are they going to still develop for the PS3? Like, I mean, are they going to put Battlefield 4 out for next gen only? Or are they going to put it out for PS3 and PS4? Is that going to alienate the PS3 players, so that even Xbox, well, not just like PlayStation, will say Xbox 360 players? Because
yeah.
I mean, if
Well,
it's
that's
just going to be designed for next gen, is that going to leave us in the dark? Like,
yeah. That's an important question, and that's the one that the developers are going to have to get into, or the producers of the game. And I think that most of those fears are unwarranted, because you look at recently here, they just stopped making PlayStation 2 games. Like,
true.
they've been supporting PS2 since the beginning of its life cycle up until very, very recently, and we're now years into the life cycle of the PS3. People say we're more than halfway through with the life cycle of PS3 and Xbox 360. Next gen is just around the corner, but the games still have life, and they're still going to continue to be supported. I would say easily, the better part of 10 years from now.
Well, I mean, that's what I'm thinking. Is they're going to support PlayStation, but are they going to like? I mean, they don't have Battlefield. You can't buy Battlefield 3 for PlayStation 2, right? I mean, I know they still support it. There were still games made for quite a bit after the fact, but I'm just wondering, like, if we'll say not even say if it's going to be PlayStation 4, Xbox 720, whatever by Christmas, but I mean, aren't they expecting Battlefield 4 to be released? Is it first of next year or is it the end of this year?
I don't know.
Has there been
I haven't
anything?
seen any talk of dates. I don't know.
I was trying to remember where they were talking. I'm thinking if it's if it's first of next year, I'm thinking they're going to probably push it for next gen. I'd have to look it up, but I just don't know. If they're going to push it next gen console. I don't know about you, but I don't have disposable income to go buy a new console
Yeah.
anytime soon. That's my big worry. I mean, is it going to leave me in the lurch? And I don't know if any of my other buddies and clanmates, if they got disposable income to buy a new console for a new game, right? So I'm
Yeah.
just kind of worried that if they're developing, and pushing for next gen, is that going to alienate some of the community? And
I think it would. But again, it's all about the support system, because if you make it next gen exclusive, um, then that has to alienate people. That's what you got to do. But that's part of the growing pains of
True.
a new console generation.
Right. True. I understand that as well. That's why I got into PC gaming. I couldn't afford to buy, $400 video card every 2 years, and then buy another $150 CPU motherboard and et cetera, et cetera. So I mean, PC gamers. I mean, you know, they they spend a lot of money on their stuff, and I'm glad to buy a $300 console to play my games.
Well, yeah, and then it'll last you 10 years too.
Exactly. Yeah, I had a
And
PlayStation
especially,
2 for a while, so.
yep, I still have one here. I actually picked up a Super Nintendo a couple months ago.
Sweet, rocking it
Yeah.
old school. Are we gonna get some?
Oh
Are we gonna
yeah.
get some gameplay video for that?
Yeah, I was thinking about it, but the option for HD on YouTube, as far as Super Nintendo goes, just I don't have much of an option.
You can't get a HD at a 16-bit, eh?
No, I mean I can record it at 720p, but as far as the actual system goes, it still looks like I shit on my TV. But
and no one wants to watch that.
no boy, maybe like one guy in Wisconsin or something. But I mean, other than that, no offense to anybody from Wisconsin.
I was just gonna say.
That's the next guy that's gonna be at my door with my mom. You know what? Oh my god,
Yeah.
I'm digging my own grave here in this battle chat.
The whole state of Wisconsin now hates Gladys. Except for that
good.
one guy that wants to watch you shit on your TV.
They're gonna know me as like Gladys the asshole, like in Wisconsin.
Well, that's what we call you whenever you're not playing.
Oh well, now I know.
Oh, shit.
It's wonderful.
Uh,
Well, I know if I ever need a second account, what I'm gonna name it.
what's that?
Gladys the asshole. Yeah.
There you go. There you go.
Hi, nice to meet you. I'm Gladys the asshole.
Yeah.
See that ending very well.
You make lots of friends.
Yep, that's gonna be good.
I figured your next username would be Potty Overflowa, but
Well, that's been taken. I mean, it's already been copyrighted and everything, so I'm not gonna be able to get my hands on that gem.
no, it's trademarked and everything. We're probably gonna have to pay now just for saying it on air now. Will we?
Yeah.
We just made Scotty $4. Look at that.
$2 every mention. Damn,
Shit.
that's pretty steep, man.
Well, hey, it's Scotty, man.
Yeah, well, his bank account's gonna overflow after that.
We'll stop calling them. We'll just call them in game. We can't record it anymore when we're dissing them, so we can't. We don't have to pay any royalties.
No names.
Yeah.
No names.
No royalties for him.
Yeah, it was either gonna be my secondary was gonna be Potty Overflow, and now we're at $6. It was gonna be that or Veiny Penis Cakes or something like that. But then all these great names that I think of are copyrighted. So
Yeah,
what am I gonna do?
definitely. That's the problem.
People are just too eager to copyright stuff these days.
Yep. Well, they're all about the dollars, man.
Yeah. What are you
I
gonna
have to copyright something. I don't know what yet, but I'm gonna copyright something. That way I can make some damn money.
I think I'll copyright Gladys the asshole, but I mean, there's like 8 people that live in Wisconsin, so I'm not gonna make any money off that.
No, definitely not. Definitely not.
Jesus. All right. Well, before I put myself in debt, or have anybody knocking at my door here, we're gonna go ahead and call the end to the battle
All
chat.
right, not a problem.
We're at the 44-minute mark, so I think we did very well on time. I know we had a lot of just bullshit there the past 10, 15 minutes or so, but whatever. That's cool, man. I mean, we're friends, so I'm happy to sit here and bullshit with you.
Yeah,
It's
not a
fun.
problem. Anytime.
Yep. So, God, I want to say this is. I'm not going to say episode number of Battle Chat because this is really your part 2 and your continuation of the first one. So, thanks for everybody for listening. Of course, if you want to get in on the Battle Chat, add us on Facebook, subscribe to the YouTube. Just kind of stick with us through the community. If I recognize a name, I'll be more likely to pick it out of the crowd when we finally do another Battle Chat. I think actually for my next one, I already reserved a spot for Shade, but I always post on Reddit when we're getting ready to do another one, and just keep an eye out for that. Um, and thanks again for everybody watching. This is probably one of my favorite series to do because we actually get to have some feedback and hear the voice of the community in the form of everybody that comes on here. So this is very cool for me to do. So, Cryptic, thanks again
Hey,
for
not a
coming on the
problem.
show.
Not a problem.
Yep. And that'll about do it. So take care, and we'll see you guys on the battlefield.